Today I've got the Haikelite Q30 triple LED quad battery soda can style floodlight to take a look at. This light has some interesting things about it that I'll talk about here today. Thanks to Banggood for sending this to me to take a look at. So here is the package the light comes in. It's just a brown cardboard box, nothing fancy about it, just got a Haikelite sticker on here and that's it, nothing more. The light comes packaged in a little bit of bubble wrap. Accessories are pretty minimal. You get a lanyard here and some extra O-rings. The lanyard's got a keychain style disconnect here and then a quick disconnect here, 2 spaces. Now this is a heavy light. I measured it at 670 grams with batteries, and that's just not very thin material there to attach to this part that screws into the lanyard hole here. I'd recommend using paracord. Just skip this lanyard that it comes with, or maybe attach your paracord here and attach it to the light. I think you'll have a much more secure connection that way. So the Q30 is made from aluminum and is hard anodized black. The tail cap is one piece and is the only place you'll see any branding on this light that says Haikelite. Its tail stands excellently, no problem with that, very stable. Threads here are square cut and well greased from the factory. Inside you'll see dual springs, fairly stiff springs. You'll see these brass contacts for the other side and then a keyed approach, and this does spin in here. One note, these do have these rubber protectors in here to keep you from using flat top batteries. The Samsung 30Qs I'm using are button top, so I had no issues. Those are removable if you'd like. However, they do recommend using button top batteries, and that's kind of their way to enforce it, but it's easy to defeat if you choose to. One thing to note here is this is the only place it really says what type of LEDs that it uses in here, and I'll get into that more, but you can see there it says XHP 70. While I've got this apart, you can see the battery's in a 2S 2P configuration here. The midsection here is milled pretty generically. It's got cross-cut diamond pattern on there. It's pretty smooth, nothing real, nothing very dynamic about it. Pretty standard. Like with some of the other Haikelites, they do come apart, your head and your body tube. Got a circuit board in here. These screws look like they've been almost halfway stripped out during the construction process. That part's unfortunate. Inside here you've got Haikelite branded circuit board and a very stiff spring. The head itself has quite a bit of millwork done to it. I think this is a lot done for style and some heat dissipation as well. You've got a 1/4-20 tripod adapter in here, so this fits on any of your standard tripods, no problem. You've got a larger size grommet there inside the smaller grommet, so you can adapt between the 2 common sizes without issue. You might need a pliers to take that off though. I will leave it on because I like how it feels. Kind of gives you a place to rest your fingers and better grip the light, I feel like. On front of the bezel here, you've got some more knurling. On the front, you've got a stainless steel bezel. It is flat and no problem there. Underneath that, you've got a glass lens. It does have a little bit of anti-reflective coating. The reflectors underneath, to me, look like they're almost paint. They don't look like they're standard orange peel or something that's milled into the reflector itself. You can see the LEDs underneath there. The button here is anodized bright blue, and it's on a high dome rubber. You can move it back and forth without turning it on here. It's almost like it's a joystick. It's not the best feeling button. When you turn on, you've got 2 blue LEDs underneath that give status updates about it. It clicks just fine, no real problems, but it's soft and kind of squishy feeling. So as I was mentioning here, I measured this light overall at 134 millimeters. Minimum diameter at the body tube was 66 millimeters. Maximum diameter at the head was 66 millimeters. Minimum was 50 millimeters. And weight with 3 Samsung 30Q batteries was 670 grams. Now, bring in another soda can light here, and I can't see them all in the frame, just they're too big here. But I've got the Sofrin Q8 here. Same thing as the BLF Q8, basically. Height-wise, they are the same. Diameter-wise, they are close. Body tubes are very similar. The Sofren has a little bit smaller head here, as you can see. And weight-wise, the Haikelite makes the Sofren feel like a lightweight. It is significantly heavier in feel. So the LEDs on this light are a bit of an unknown officially. On the product description, they're only listed as 7070 LEDs, which is a size, not really a specific product. On the inside of the tail cap, as I was showing before, it says XHP 70, and they do look pretty similar to images of those XHP 70s I see online. The LEDs have a large dome, and you can see the three individual emitters underneath, well, the 4 individual emitters underneath inside of each diode. The beam is mostly flood with a slight hot center, and you can see 3 lines coming off the beam as it reflects. And the light has the following mode spacing. It's got low of 10 lumens, 500 lumens, 2,500 lumens, and 5,000 lumens, and then 12,000 lumens. And hard to see here with video lights and everything, but I'll show you I'll put in a picture here of what the beam pattern looks like. Hopefully I can catch those artifacts, and we'll also do the night shots as well. So here are my night shots for the Haikelite Q30, and this is the lowest mode that it goes, and it's a cooler white LED. The brand is potentially unknown. There's some controversy about that I'll talk about here. It does not ramp. It has steady modes there. And there is turbo. They claim this is 12,000 lumens. And it kind of blows out the camera if I can adjust even more, but this is super bright. It's a super flood light. You can see it just lights up my entire backyard, but doesn't really throw that far. You can see it lights up the neighbor's house. They probably hate me right now, but really a bright light. Heat's fairly well controlled on this thing for such a big, heavy light that's bright. You can see tint on it is of the cooler white variety. If I bump down a little bit more, you can see that tint probably a little bit better. So, decent light, lots of LEDs here, lots of power. This is definitely one to wow your friends. And it's heavy too. You can see the blue button on there really lights up, really is bright. And this is such a wide amount of light. So again, 12,000 lumens. It's your own portable pocket sun. So UI, this light has a hidden Moonlight Mode, so you just press and hold from off, and you get this really, really low power mode. This is the only mode that's safe to actually look at the flashlight if it's on. Other than that, it's way too bright to actually look at. Normal modes can be accessed when the light are on. They can be accessed just with a long press, and the light begins to cycle through them, and you can stop on the one you want. You have 4 normal brightness modes. Turbo is not part of the normal mode. To access turbo, you double click from anywhere. Double click again while in turbo to access strobe. Both turbo and strobe are able to be memorized, but the instructions aren't really clear on how you do this. The light has an electronic lockout, but with most lights, I prefer just mechanically locking out the light. And just so I can show you here, I can just turn the body tube ever so slightly, just lose contact here, and the light is mechanically locked out. And I just prefer to do this. I feel it's safer to do. The switch does act as a battery indicator, however. The manual states it's a green LED, but mine happens to be a blue LED under the switch. Under 50% power, the light comes on constantly. Between 50 and 9%, it starts to blink every 2 seconds. Below 9%, the light will step down to moonlight to conserve energy. So for runtimes on this light, I ran for turbo just for 2 minutes before stepping down significantly due to heat. The bulk of the 150-minute runtime while with the Samsung 30Q's batteries I used was about 25% relative output. Well, that sounds like not very much. Keep in mind this light's claimed to produce 12,000 lumens, and that runtime was 135 minutes in a small linear decline. At the end, the light kicked up. The final 10 minutes, it quickly ramped down before a lower voltage protection kicked in, the light shut off. I think it'd be nice to see a flashing mode or something when the light's just about to die, rather than just dying to let you know, hey, you're on your absolute final power. So for the pros for me are, this seems to be pretty well made without any major machining issues. It's big and heavy, and that's kind of what you expect in a light like this, but this is a little bit more so. I like that it has minimal branding only on the tail cap, and I love that it's got a tripod mount on these big style lights. That's essential for me. The cons are, this has an unknown LED, but they seem to be a cooler neutral white. While the eye is not a good measure of lumens, to me it doesn't quite look like 12,000 in comparison to other lights that I have. The beam does have some artifacts, and it's quite heavy with batteries. So my conclusion on this light is, this light's a bit of a mystery. Haikelite doesn't officially list it on their website, and there isn't a ton of existing information out on it. I've seen some suggest that it's not a true Haikelite. However, all the circuit boards do have the Haikelite name on them, and the box is consistent with other Haikelite flashlights I've had. Maybe it's a Banggood exclusive. I don't really have the equipment to verify total lumens, but since we don't know what LEDs in it, I'm somewhat suspect if it can hit the claimed 12,000. There are a handful of high-quality soda can floodlights on the market, and some that are less expensive, like the BLF or Sofrin Q8s. Those are really well documented, really well known, and this one, with undocumented LEDs, kind of an unknown origin, it's hard for me to say this is the one to buy. I've not had any problems with mine. I think the UI is decent, and it's got a pretty neutral tint, and mine's been working without issues. The time step downs are a little disappointing. They're a little short, and I prefer thermal regulation instead of timed step downs, so you get maximum lumens during your amount of time. If you're interested in the Haikelite Q30, I'll have links to it and any discount codes I might have in the description box below. If you have a Haikelite Q30, let me know what you think of it in the comments below. As always, guys, thanks for subscribing, and I'll catch you on the next video. Thanks for watching.